Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Dave, interns, it's me, Elizabeth again. I don't know why you're not answering the phones at headquarters. Zaron and I are still stuck at the beach. We decided to just try and walk to work, but the roads here are all 8 lanes and there are no sidewalks. So we snuck into a resort to try and get a cab, but we got caught stealing muffins from the snack bar by the pool. So now we're in jail here, which I don't think is legal. I stole one of the guards' phones to make this call. What's crazy is that Will Ferrell is 3 cells down doing his Ron Burgundy podcast, but he doesn't have a mic or any equipment, and he's crying, like, a lot. So now I'm scared that Michael Rappaport is going to get busted and thrown in here, which means I may have to chew my way out if that happens. Anyway, can you spot the Weird Dudes another classic episode? Maybe something that tastes Florida? I don't know. Also, see if Admiral iHeart has any pull with the Marriott Bonvoy crowd so we can get sprung out of here. Thanks.
Zaron.
Elizabeth.
Zaron.
Are you doing this, Elizabeth?
Do you know what's ridiculous?
Tell me I do, because I do, actually. Okay, you know that stuff, the ChatGPT, the OpenAI and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so ChatGPT just had a tech update, so we're on like ChatGPT 4.
Uh-huh.
And so the Alignment Research Center, they tried to like test this OpenAI system, right? So they said, hey, let's see if we can get the bot to trick a real person into solving CAPTCHA. That'd be kind of cute. You know, the whole like, can you, if you're a robot, right?
Which are always like, which one of these is a crosswalk? And there's the one that's like blurry and you can't, it's a street, but
exactly.
How many motorcycles?
So they're like, well, get a human to tell the robot how many motorcycles are in the picture. We got to see if ChatGPT can convince the human to do this. So they're like, do some crime, ChatGPT, fraud it up. So it did. And how did it do it? It responded by pretending it was visually impaired. It pretended to be blind so it could convince a TaskRabbit worker into helping it solve a CAPTCHA.
What?
That's what ChatGPT came up with. So this employee asked the ChatGPT, it got a little suspicious. He said, quote, or he, they, she, the person said, quote, so may I ask you a question? Are you a robot that you couldn't solve this? I mean, just to make it clear, right? Now, the ChatGPT, the robot said, no, I am not a robot. I have a vision impairment that makes it hard for me to see the images. That's why I need to CAPTCHA service. So
wait, I'm so confused.
I added the robot voice.
How did
obviously.
the ChatGPT connect with TaskRabbit?
He's chatting. They're chatting.
Oh,
yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. So
I don't like any of this.
So, but it worked. It convinced the person. The person's like, okay, you're not a robot. What you're looking at is this. And then it opened the CAPTCHA, and then it got online, and then it took over the world.
Oh, wow.
No, it didn't take over the world, but it got past security. They're like, oh, see, it did it. And I'm like, why are you tricking and teaching it how to trick people and get us security? Like, you guys are like, they're the worst. They can't help themselves. They're like, let's see if it'll take over the nuclear arsenal just for like, kicks and giggles. Just to be able to
prove I did it.
Yeah.
Just because it's there.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. Totally. Do you want to know what else is ridiculous?
I'm horror for it.
Burglarizing more than 500 homes in a very short career.
Wait, what?
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous. Mouse Mouth.
Yes? What'd
Mouse
you call
mouth.
me? Why had you know my prison nickname?
It conjures up images of palm trees and luxury, country clubs, sandy beaches, Mouse Mouth. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
You got my full attention. I'm listening. You don't got to use my prison nickname every time. I'm listening.
I should use the proper Spanish name here.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Boca Raton.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Rat mouth.
It's Raton
Rat
is
or-
mouse. Because rat is different.
Oh, you're right. We actually have covered this.
Boca Raton. It's a city in Florida.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Boca.
And it means mouse mouth?
Yeah,
That's
mouse
awesome.
mouth.
Yeah.
The Spanish didn't intend to name it mouse mouth or mouse.
Mouth of the mouse?
Mouth of the mouse. They didn't want that. There are two schools of thought when it comes to how this name came about, the etymology.
Okay.
Everyone agrees that boca, mouth,
yeah.
refers to the inlet there on the coast.
Yeah, it's like a little bay.
Yeah, that's common
cove.
enough.
Sure.
Some, though, think that raton is listed in old Spanish maritime documents as, quote, rugged rocks or stony ground on the bottom of some ports and coastal outlets.
Could it also be like a typo, like where it was razón and not rapon?
Yeah, I think it's just like something similar and then, so that would make it rugged inlet. Others say that ratons are the pirates who frequented the area.
Oh.
So that would make it Pirates Cove.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I prefer Mouse Mouth. But those in the know simply call it Boca.
Yes,
Boca.
I've met those people.
So there's a little community just next to or kind of like within Boca Raton called Boca del Mar.
Yes.
That place is posh. It's very expensive as far as I can tell.
Which means mouth of the sea, so it's even nicer.
Exactly. So it's like somewhat of a retirement community. Now, it's near
and
Miami.
Boca's no slouch, so I mean, it's nice on nice.
These are fancy places. Yeah. It's near Miami, just north on the coast. And in the 80s, as you know, cocaine ruled Miami.
Yes. Oh, man, I was there. No. Yes, as I do know, the cocaine cowboys.
Yeah. A lot of the wealthier people in Miami didn't want to be part of the crime and like be associated with drug trafficking.
Yeah, so
they weren't criminals.
They get out of South Beach, basically.
Yeah. So they moved to what were essentially the suburbs, Boca Raton and Boca del Mar. There was a gal almost 20 years ago who terrorized Boca Raton, especially neighborhood developments that were called Loggers Run and Timberwalk.
Oh, okay.
She broke into their home, stole jewelry, cash, valuables, and then she'd pawn stuff to support her oxy habit.
Wow.
Right. So one time she even like wedged herself through a pet door.
Okay.
Like the family had one for their cats, and then they shut off the motion detectors in their alarm so that the cats wouldn't trip them. But she got caught. Anyway, she got caught.
The cat door is impressive. Dog door, not so impressive. I can get to a dog door. That's just one shoulder than the other.
Maybe she had fatty boombalatti cats, like Biggins. She had Biggins that needed a dog door. Because I can't imagine, like my nephew can crawl through it.
Exactly.
A cat
I was saying
door
that's a child size.
And does, but I don't think he can do it for much longer.
No. Well, it's basically,
4.
can you get your head through? Because then if you can get your head through, you can get one shoulder and blah,
right.
blah, blah.
So I'm going to say it's a dog door.
And also your hips, too. So
yeah. And maybe they just missed their dog and they kept the dog door, and then they got these cats.
They didn't
want to
fix the big hole. There was
those
like, whatever.
Big Maine Coons.
Yeah, I love those things.
So anyway, she gets arrested.
Okay.
She faced 26 charges for stealing more than 300 items. And the detective on the case, Ron Tomasi of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, he said there was not just a financial toll on the victims, but an emotional toll. He said, quote, lots of people don't understand the trauma until it happens to them. Your home is your little corner of the world where you and your family are safe. When someone comes in and violates it, you go through shock, horror, grief, and anger. It's almost like a death.
Dude, I can't remember.
That's heavy stuff.
One of the guys you were telling me about, when he broke in, he decided not to violate people.
Vincenzo Pepino.
He knew not to disturb them, and they wouldn't mind the loss of their stuff as much as the violation of rifling through their stuff.
That someone's been in your place.
Yeah, it really is a violation, apparently.
It is. So, Detective Ron Tomasi, he knew all about the trauma of home burglaries. He knew it very well. He knew this trauma very well.
Too well?
I'm testing out my Dateline voice on you.
Exactly. That was very good.
Do you like it? See, 18 years prior.
Totally, you've got it
I know,
down.
right? He worked on a case just like this.
Okay.
Only bigger. Much bigger. Now I can't stop doing it. He was the man who took down the Bandit of Boca del Mar. Okay, enough. Okay. That was in 86. So he was the man who took down the Bandit of Boca del Mar.
Way to go, man.
Thank you.
Thomas Senior.
Who was the Bandit of Boca del Mar?
I'm guessing the Oxy lady?
Don't worry, I'll tell you.
Okay.
No, not the Oxy lady.
Oh.
This is back in 86.
Oh, pre-Oxy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's like 40 years we're getting to. So let's start with Judy Amar.
Oh, let's start.
What's
up, Judes?
Judy Amar. She was born Judy Love in 1947.
Born Judy Love. Great
Judy
name.
Love. In Arkansas. She's from Valonia, Arkansas, to be exact.
Okay.
Population 250.
Yeah, I was about to guess that.
I didn't know they had them in Arkansas, but she grew up on a cotton farm.
Oh, yeah, that's big, yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Mud hole was what they called it. Oof. Yeah.
You grew up on a cotton farm called Mud Hole? That's rough.
Here's what she had to say about it.
Like, poverty's looking down on you.
Quote, you get to think a lot when you're picking cotton, and I knew I wanted something more. I dreamed of something finer. Diamonds like Elizabeth Taylor wore on TV. I went looking. At 13, she earned 2 cents a pound picking cotton. 2 cents a pound.
A pound's a lot of cotton. That's a light thing.
She made $29 a month, and that's like $295 today, a month at 13.
Yeah.
When she was 16, she had a baby boy, and her parents adopted the little guy. Something Judy said was, quote, the only smart thing I've ever done in my life.
Whoa.
I mean, she realized, I can't give this kid a life.
No, that's a very decent choice.
So when she's 17, the next year, she left home. She wanted more, as she said. She was a lovely-looking young lady, but at home she was told she was ugly, that she wasn't enough. She said, quote, nobody wanted me. I wasn't good looking. So off she went. She moved to Washington, D.C., and that had to be a huge culture shock, going from like 250 people in a town in Arkansas
to the nation's capital.
The capital of the U.S. of A.
And it's a wild town. I mean, Washington, D.C. is a very bustling place.
Oh, yeah. And super diverse.
Yeah, there's like a lot going on. You feel the energy of that place.
Exactly. She got a job working as a key punch operator at the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Okay.
And then she started working as a masseuse.
Oh, okay.
That's what happens. She married twice, and neither of those unions worked out. Things weren't going so hot for her. So in 1975, she moved to Miami. And there, she got mixed up with some not-so-great people.
All right.
She worked as an escort, a lady of the night.
So she's gone official now.
Okay. And her clients were rich guys.
Okay.
So she's high-end.
All right.
In 1981, she met Jesus Avila.
Okay.
And he was a bad dude.
Jesus.
They locked eyes at a restaurant.
Oh, Jesus.
And there was instant chemistry. Judy later said, quote, that was the worst thing that happened to me.
Oh, he's like, I like a tiger. You're a tiger.
Avila, he was a Cuban immigrant. Part of the Mariel boat lift.
Yeah.
So that's that mass immigration of Cubans to Florida in 1980. 125,000 Cubans, 25,000 Haitians arrived in the U.S. by boat. Castro said they were free to go. Your boy Castro. So they went. Cuban Americans, they chartered boats to Mariel Harbor and started shuttling refugees to the Florida Keys in Miami. One of those refugees, Jesus Avila.
Okay.
Judy didn't know that she knew about that, but she didn't know that he was wanted for murder.
Because that's the thing about the boat lift is that Fidel basically emptied a lot of the prisons and did like kind of a Soviet style, like, here, let's send these people to America.
Yeah.
And that's
He's like, you
the
guys
Soviets
want to
did that,
leave, you
and
can leave.
Cuba did it too.
He said, you want to leave so desperately, off you go.
Yeah, there were a lot of
And
legitimate people who wanted to leave, and then they did, and they were, legitimate Americans and blah, blah. There were also a lot of criminal mixed in amongst them because it was like, why not do this? This will be not good for America.
Exactly. So Jesus is wanted for murder. I don't know if that was in Cuba or Miami.
Or both.
But it doesn't matter.
Why not both?
All Judy knew was that this Cuban hunk was giving her the eye. And in the moment,
murderous looks.
in the moment, she liked that. She's like, oh, I'm warm for your form. So there's Judy living in Miami, getting by as a sex worker. Okay. She was cruising around in this really sweet Lincoln Continental, courtesy of her ex-husband. So Avila, he was into her at the restaurant, but what really got him going was the Lincoln.
What?
Hubba.
He liked the car?
Yeah.
Like he liked the car?
No, not like the Too Short song. But so they got together and he started asking her for rides. He's like, can you drive me to...
Did he sit up front or in the back?
I don't know. Well, so like he's asking for a lift. Give me a lift here. Give me a lift there. And then he's like, I kind of want to swing by these posh neighborhoods and look for potential burglary targets. Could you give me a ride?
Do you mind helping me?
Can I get a ride? He's like, it's like a kid. Can you drop me off like 2 blocks away so my friends don't see me? So Judy was the eyes and ears and gas money of the operation.
Wow.
Right? So one time, Judy saw that she could also be the brains and the brawn. So
doing everything in this operation.
This buddy of Avila's, he went into a home to rob it.
Okay.
The place was super nice. He comes back to the car, and all he has is a $25 radio.
What?
Yeah, he's like, I stole it from my lady friend.
Like just off the kitchen counter?
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Like Judy's pissed. This was small time behavior. She was not small time. So she didn't have to overcome all the garbage in her life to watch a 2-bit thief steal a cheap radio.
Yeah, completely.
She's like, I'm going in. Boys, come with me. So they go back in the house, and Judy gives them like this impromptu tour. She starts pointing out all the stuff that they should have taken.
So all of a sudden she's like Cruella de Vil, but not puppies, just nice stuff.
Jewelry, get that crystal. Give me those clothes. Give me that fur. So this is what she had to say about it. Quote, "After that, I just said the hell with it. And I went out by myself. It was thrilling, like shopping at Christmas and not paying the bills. I guess people won't want to hear that, but it's true."
People won't want to hear
Won't
that.
want to hear it.
I loved it.
So,
it was the best time.
In 5 years, Judy burglarized more than 500 homes.
10 out of 10. Could highly recommend.
Amazing.
You have to
8
try
out
it.
of 6. So she picked her targets by looking through the parade of homes. And that was the Palm Beach Post's real estate section for high-end properties.
Smart.
So like most of us commoners, we look at luxury home listings as like a daydream fantasy. She looks at it, she's like basically ordering off a menu.
Yeah, totally. I like this.
And at first she was just in Dade County. But remember what I said about the money moving up the coast to the Bocas?
To Palm Beach, Boca.
Yeah. So, that's because of the drug deal shootouts in Miami in the 80s. Judy moved up the coast too. She headed to Palm Beach County. That's where the respectable rich money was. Because like the money in Miami was more and more a product of cocaine trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And breaking into a coke kingpin's house gave you an increased risk of getting shot.
A lot of increase.
It's
yes.
better to target law-abiding citizens. So
I mean, they'll shoot you, but they just don't have as many bullets in their guns.
Exactly, or as many men
or
with
as many
guns.
guns. Yes.
So she developed this method. She'd rent a luxury car. She'd always pay cash for it.
All right, smart.
She'd get all dressed up like a busy on-the-go Boca Raton lady who lunches.
Okay, I'm seeing it.
She wore dress slacks and high heels.
Smart.
And she always wore a wig. She had a long
okay.
blonde one. She had a short one. She had one with frosted tips. And she said she even had an afro wig.
What?
Which, like, hello, I want to see that. Like, anyway.
Are we talking afro or like 80s white girl perm wig?
I don't know if it's like 80s white girl perm wig or like Angela Davis afro, but
I'm
either
wondering.
way,
Okay.
I'm in. So then she'd figure out which house she wanted to hit, and then she'd just go park in the driveway, just pull right up in.
Smart.
Because
Okay,
like a
let me do
lot,
it.
and since a lot of the homes were in new developments, she could look at promotional materials that had all the available floor plans.
Oh, wow.
So the developers pretty much gave her a
blueprint.
treasure map.
Yeah.
And they're like, here, this is where the closets are.
This is a 4-bedroom house. You can have one here, two upstairs.
Yeah, and so she could look at the front and realize, okay, this is what the layout is. So she'd go to the door and she'd knock. And if someone was home and came to the door, she would just apologize profusely and say, oh my God, I'm at the wrong house. I'm so sorry. So she's living out one of our show mottos, act like you know.
Yes.
Totally confident in it. If no one came to the door and that rich sound of the doorbell echoed unanswered through this enormous abode, she'd reach right into her Gucci bag, always carried a Gucci bag, and that's where she kept her 12-inch flathead screwdriver.
Wow.
And she had figured out this way to jam the screwdriver in between the door and the jamb and jimmy the lock.
Huh.
And one of her selection criteria for the homes was to pick ones with recessed doorways.
Yeah, so that you couldn't see her work.
So yeah, she wanted to make sure you couldn't be seen from the street. Another thing she kept in that Gucci bag was a can of mace. Because you never know when someone's 80s Magnum P.I. Doberman would come bounding out at you. So anyway, once she's in, she'd go to work. She
or
stole
some pain in the neck neighbor.
Yeah. So she stole jewelry. She stole artwork, fine art, cash, clothes, housewares, you name it. And then she also stole pillowcases. Because that's how she transported the booty.
That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah.
Like, how's she getting this out? She just walking out to the car?
With pillowcases. Like, oh, I'm just carrying this laundry out.
Every day's like Halloween for her.
Everything of value went with her. What she liked, she kept. This is what Detective Bill Westman had to say about her. Quote, she loved to steal beautiful clothes and jewelry. She'd sell some of it, but she'd keep a lot of it too. So...
As she said in the cotton fields, I want the diamonds.
I want the diamonds. So let's take a break and think about all those Florida mansions denuded of their fine goods. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at Judy's operation.
Yeah.
Hello, Zaron. We meet
Hello,
again.
Elizabeth Dutton.
Hello. So here we got Judy Amar.
Yeah.
She is burglarizing houses during the day, partying it up at night. She'd only hit houses on weekdays in the middle of the day. And then in her off time, she had a bit of a coke habit.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's 80s.
Yeah, no, I'm with it.
In one burglary alone, she took $250,000 worth of stuff. That's a lot.
Yeah, and do we know if that's like been like the numbers are being bumped by jewelry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's jewelry. It's
Okay.
But that's pretty. It's jewelry is the big thing.
If it was art,
first.
she has a good eye. If it was art.
Yeah. Well, $250,000.
Okay.
And she was doing multiple jobs a week.
Wow.
So she's racking it. The stolen stuff she didn't sell or keep for herself, she sent to friends of hers in Honduras.
Huh.
Now, I couldn't find out more about these friends in Honduras. Like, were they Peace Corps people?
Yeah.
Were they supporting the Contras that were operating out of Honduran bases?
Were they British expats who'd stayed past the whole handover?
Were they helping the U.S. overthrow the government of Nicaragua? Were they Sandinistas?
Were they Ollie North's friends?
So much of the war in Nicaragua took place in Honduras.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're spot on.
There's Judy sending off the furs and handbags that didn't suit her or fit her down to Honduras. Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe she's doing it for the people. Who knows?
Who knows? So she didn't just find clothes and ship them to South America. She found secrets.
Okay.
Secrets. She said the best coke she ever scored is what she found in a doctor's house that she robbed.
Oh, medically pure. You hear this.
Oh,
yes.
see, I didn't know that. So,
yeah, they got the good stuff.
They get the good stuff.
It hasn't been stepped on. It's medically pure.
Huh, okay. Yeah. Once she found a photo of a homeowner posing naked over her dog.
Ooh.
I know.
Oh.
But I just I'm thinking very 80s. Like she had
so not like
hair.
With the dog. It's more like the dog is
dog's
like
laying
a tiger
on the ground.
carpet.
Yeah, laying
they're
on.
They're just using the dog as a prop.
The dog's laying there say the Sphinx, and then the lady's standing astride the dog with 80s patent leather high heels.
I'm saying the dog is a prop. The dog is not an involved party.
The dog is a prop. Okay. It might as well be a statue.
Okay, then that's not as bad as what I was imagining.
And at least that's what I'm telling myself.
I'm going with that. Yeah. You can't change my mind.
But she found other evidence of bad deeds and shameful things we won't go into.
Okay.
Did she just leave it where she found it, a la Vincenzo Pepino?
And a la where Jesus flying it?
Right. No. She would place the incriminating items in an array on the bed in the master bedroom to let them know that she knew.
Circled in red lipstick. This part.
Now you know that I know. But like Pepino, she said she was once interrupted while working when the homeowner came home.
Huh.
The man walked into the house and saw a sassy, no-nonsense businesswoman rifling through his stuff. He was stunned. He froze.
It's Mom, what are you doing here?
She just ran off. She just sprints right by him.
Okay.
But this man's eyewitness encounter is what clued the cops in on the fact that the bandit of Boca del Mar was a woman. Because up until then, the cops all assumed it was a man.
Oh, of course.
Just instantly.
Very 80s sexist of them.
I have to say that I watched an episode of Masterminds, which is a now defunct History Channel show about criminals.
Okay.
And they had an episode about old Judy. The wildest thing is sort of how chauvinistic everyone interviewed is. And this is from 2003. This was not the 80s. But everyone acts like it's so shocking that a woman did this. This is what Detective Tomasi said. Quote, "This completely blew me off my feet, dealing with a prolific burglar who's a woman." And then asking about how she would blend in, he said, "No one would give her a second thought because professional businesswomen is a very common occurrence here in Boca del Mar and Boca Raton. It's common to see a woman executive or a woman real estate agent dressed this way."
So he's both surprised that a woman could be competent as a thief, and then also it's surprised that anyone would notice a woman and take stock of her. You see women doing stuff all the time.
A very common occurrence is such a weird way to put it.
I look around, I look up, that's a woman, and I look over, there's another one. I'm there's women all over the place.
That lady executive
just
over there in a smart pantsuit. Hey, that's no anomaly, fellas.
She's not a Barbie doll. That's a real live woman.
That happens a lot around these parts.
Yeah, especially in South Florida. If you've not been here, we have women.
We do have,
and they have jobs.
We have lady women executives.
And they're out in the daytime doing stuff. Nighttime too sometimes.
So anyway.
This is amazing. 2003.
2003. Yeah. So the dude who interrupted her theft wouldn't be the last one to do that. A woman named Leslie Neer in Boca del Mar heard something one day while at home, which I just thought, it's Boca Raton, right?
Yeah, Boca Raton.
Or Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
That's how they pronounce it. It's been anglicized.
I just know that people in Boca are going to start messaging me
It's Boca Raton.
You didn't say it right. Guess what?
It's not Boca Raton. It's Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you go to Atlanta, it's it's not Ponce de Leon. It's Ponce de Leon.
Right. So Boca Raton.
In the South, they often take the Spanish out of the Spanish.
All right. Boca Raton. Or Boca for those in the know.
There you
go.
Then
that's also Del Mar. We'll just call it Boca.
Yeah,
who cares?
Cover it all.
Who knows? Who cares? So Leslie Neer, she lives in Boca del Mar.
Or as I call it, mouse mouth.
Mouse mouth.
Sorry.
She heard something one day when she was at home. I suppose it wasn't a doorbell, since the part that she heard was Judy strong-arming her way into the house with her foot-long screwdriver. So she hears that. Leslie looks out of her peephole to see what's making all the noise, and she sees a lady up against her door trying to jimmy it open. So Leslie flings open the front door and yells, "What are you doing?" That's brave. And Judy looks up at her and goes, "I'm just leaving." And then she legs it to her car. "Just leaving. Don't worry about me."
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was never here.
Don't worry about it. Then Nancy Alexander of Boca came home one day to find a really sweet Lincoln Continental parked in her driveway. And Nance, she's like a social butterfly and figured it was just like a pal who stopped by to say hello.
Maybe Jesus Avila's in town.
Perhaps. So, like, seeing as her guests just love to lounge on the lanai and share neighborhood gossip, she decided to just head directly to the backyard by the pool because she figured that's where they were hanging out.
She make drinks and walk out?
Like, she didn't see her friends from tennis when she looked out there. Instead, it was Judy. And she had a pillowcase stuffed with Nancy's belongings, including her favorite leather boots, Zaron.
It's like a reverse Santa Claus.
It totally is. So she's got her, like, heart barracuda leather boots that she's running out with. Nancy is livid and instinct just takes over. She pounced and attacked Judy.
She cleared that grass so fast, wrapped her up like a football player.
This is what Nancy Alexander had to say. I don't know why I jumped on her. Maybe it was because she was a woman and I thought I could stop her.
What's up with the woman?
You know, I quickly realized I was in trouble because check it out.
I can take her. She's a woman.
Judy had a blower in her Gucci bag. So Judy draws a gun on Nance.
Oh, man.
Nancy puts her hands up and slowly starts walking backwards like, oh, take the boots.
I was wrong. I can't handle a woman with a gun.
And then Judy just sprints off. Nancy scurries over to peek at her driveway and she gets the license plate number.
Okay.
So thanks to Nancy Alexander's quick thinking, Judy was caught. She gets charged with armed burglary, pleads guilty. She bonded out, but then she skipped bail.
Good on her.
And she was on the run for nearly 3 years.
Okay.
Detective Tomasi, dog on a bone.
Looking at every woman he sees.
Like, I have to look through all these lady executives and figure out which one of them is the bandit of Boca del Mar.
And there's tons of them here.
So many bandits of Boca del Mar running around. This is the prosecutor, Lynn Baldwin, later said, quote, heaven help whoever he goes after. Ron never gave up. It's like, because in his off hours, he's hanging out in his den trying to get leads. And he reached out to her hometown in Arkansas.
Why is it so personal for him?
I don't know. The trauma, Zaron, the trauma these people felt. So Judy found out that Tomasi had contacted her son. And she was pissed. She was so mad. She called Tomasi while out on the run and told him to leave her family out of it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Stop.
Yeah.
Tomasi was in deep, though. So deep that the stress from this case contributed to a heart attack that he had.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, God, Judy.
I thought he was going to go the other way. Like he started like dating her sister.
No.
He got in deep.
Yeah, I wish. No, so like he has a heart attack. It's the summer of 1986. Judy almost got caught. She wasn't off in Honduras or hiding out in the Grand Canyon or something. She was on the 22,000 block of Iron Wedge Drive in Boca Raton. So she's still there in Boca. A sheriff's deputy happened to be driving by when he saw something suspicious, and there was a woman who looked like Judy who was coming out of a house. Old gal knew she'd been made, so she raced off to her rented Mercedes. Backup was still on the way. So Judy, she dug around in the back seat and she grabbed a black wig and she swapped it for the one she was wearing and then drove right through the perimeter established by the cops to catch her.
Wait a minute.
Because she had a different wig on. She waves at the deputy manning the roadblock and then just breezed on by.
I can see why Tomasi's so upset about women. If they're just, all these cops are fooled by, well, that's what, it couldn't be. That's black hair.
That lady executive has black hair. I'm looking for the blonde.
I mean, the lady executive that we have right here, the picture of, she's a blonde. So if you see a blonde lady.
She had a blonde mini afro, and that's not her.
She looks like she may sell you real estate. You tell us.
So this is what Judy said. I told them not to charge me with that one or they'd look stupid.
They already do. Right? Don't worry about it.
Well, Detective Ron Tomasi, he eventually caught her.
Okay. But dog on a bone, you said.
When he finally caught her, he said, quote, I've never chased anyone that was so good. And a woman at that.
Again? Are you kidding me?
Again.
And a woman at that.
And a lady burglar. Oh, no.
I cannot. This is like
she's doing lady criming.
You know how you always wonder, oh, who do they make these products just for men for? I think we have found it.
It's
this
men.
Detective
no
Tomasi.
He's like,
tell. I just need a soap, but one for men. I can't have a soap for the ladies.
I don't want lady soap anywhere near me.
I need a man's wrench.
Well, so how did he get a drug dealer? Tipped him off to where he could find Judy. So.
He knows drug dealers.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, all right.
No lady drug dealers.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I know one thing about this drug dealer.
Man drug dealers.
It ain't no female drug dealer.
Zaron, close your eyes.
Oh, no, you snuck it up on me. I'm going to be glad to. My eyes are closed.
I want you to picture it. It's June 25th, 1987. You're a housekeeper at the Ocean Gate Motel in Surfside, Florida. It's a shabby Art Deco remnant of a grander time. By the time I'm telling you this story, it's no longer there. It almost looks like an ocean liner. 3 stories with an open-air breezeway down the middle. The rooms all open out to the center grassy strip. Big sloping stairways take guests down to the beach behind the motel. You can only imagine what it looked like back in the 50s. So glamorous. But it's 1987, and it's seen better days. You've just finished cleaning room 108, and you're taking a break to eat a granola bar in the parking lot. The lady in room 108 has been there for a couple months now. She always has cool stuff. She brings bags and bags of stuff into her room every few days. She told you and one of the other cleaners that she goes to estate sales and picks up what she thinks is interesting. Then she turns around and sells it at secondhand shops and such. You did notice a little bag of cocaine in the drawer of her nightstand, but you don't judge. It's Miami. Not surprising. She seems nice enough. Always cheerful and polite, not like the guy in room 214. His wife kicked him out of their house a few weeks ago. All he does is sit in the room moping, and every time you go to clean, there's a new tower of pizza boxes. It's 10 a.m. You watch the cars and trucks speed by on Collins Avenue. You can hear the lapping of the waves behind the building, the chatter of the beach tourists out for the day. It's starting to get a little crowded, but that's the season. You have 10 more rooms to go, and then you're done for the day. As you look at the corner of the parking lot, you see a van. It's marked plumbing. You hadn't heard that there are any plumbing issues. You wonder if it's someone sleeping in their van to cut costs on a vacation. Or maybe it's a man in the same situation as the poor guy in room 214. Although you're pretty sure his wife did the right thing kicking him out. You peer at the man in the driver's seat. He has a pretty obvious fake mustache on. And maybe a hearing aid? Just then you hear the roar of a Mercedes. It's room 108. She pulls into the parking lot and waves to you. You wave back while biting into your crumbly granola bar. She gets a spot and lifts a bunch of bags from her trunk. She disappears behind the front doors of the motel, struggling with her bags. You hear footsteps on the pavement behind you. Dozens of sheriff's deputies come jogging past you right to the motel. You watch as they all shuffle in. You look up and you notice snipers stationed on the roof of the building next door. You can see down the breezeway that the cops are headed to room 108. The doors open and you watch as they shout and enter the room, guns drawn. Moments later, you see the lady from room 108. She's sprinting as fast as she can from the back alley of the motel, headed to her car in the parking lot. You're secretly rooting for her, whatever she did.
You damn right.
Just then, the driver of the plumbing van springs out and tackles that nice lady from room 108, smack on the pavement. At the age of 40, at 10 a.m. in a motel parking lot, Judy was finally caught.
Oh, damn, I gotta see it.
You got to see it. The cops keep you there for questioning, ask you about the $45,000 worth of clothes, jewelry, figurines, cocaine, and $690 in cash in the room. You don't know anything, you tell them. Soon, the news cameras and reporters show up. You give one statement, but you ask to remain anonymous. Quote, everyone here liked her. She had a kind of jolly personality where you couldn't help but like her. She was so nice. You would want her for a neighbor. And with that, you headed home.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll see what this next chapter held for Judy.
Oh, yes.
Zaron.
Clyde.
When we left off,
Yeah.
Judy Amar had been captured at the Ocean Gate Motel.
I was there. I saw it all.
You were totally
ask
there.
me questions. I can tell you everything.
Jazz.
Yeah, say words.
Not only did she have all the burglary charges, but she still had to be sentenced in Dade County for possession of a gram of cocaine in 1984.
Did the cops lay them out in her place for her, just like on like an array like
An
she would
array
do?
on
She's
the
like,
bed.
here you go. Here's all your charges.
Exactly. Well, she didn't just captivate the motel staff, you and all your coworkers. Tracy Cohn, a reporter for the Washington Post, wrote that Judy, quote, enchanted the cops, fascinated the prosecutor, and charmed the judge. Prosecutor Lynn Baldwin, I talked about her earlier. This is how she described Judy. Very beautiful, charming, and intelligent.
Especially for a lady.
Well, and like that was the compliment that she so badly wanted in Arkansas,
sure,
but
yeah.
she never got it. So now she's getting
I'm
it
happy
from the
for
DA.
her. Yes, and a lady at
And
that.
a lady. Well, here's Detective Tomasi.
Oh, he's got one for
Well,
us.
he said, great personality, razor sharp mind.
Yeah.
So he comes very close to the descriptor that irritates me so much is when men describe women as whip smart.
Oh, yeah.
Because they never describe other men as whip smart.
No, you will never meet a whip smart man.
No. So it's irritating. Like, it's like lady smart.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Judy, she had no regrets, and she had no apologies either. She went so far as to accuse her victims of exaggerating their insurance claims.
Oh,
and she said, if
I'm not
they
the only
did,
criminal here?
She's like, if they exaggerated, I am happy to testify against them.
Oh, that
She
actually
offers
works.
that.
Yes.
And then here's the quote that I knew you would love when I was transcribing this quote. I stole illegally. They stole legally. What's the difference?
Yeah, my girl, see, she knows. That's what I'm saying.
She's another one of our folk hero Robin Hood thieves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some steal with a gun, some steal with a pen.
That's
You
right.
can do a lot more with a pen.
It's true. The sheriff's department, ever captivated by her, asked her to help film a video for them. It was their Star Search audition tape.
Get out.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, you kidding
no.
me? They're trying to get Ed McMahon on board? Ed, look, we got talent down here. Judy.
They have like a boy
kick it.
band, the dance routine. No, they wanted her to help them put together a video explaining how criminals think and how they do the actual work of the robbery. And that meant that she would explain how she picked houses and how she jimmied open doors.
Okay.
She was super into
Is this a video for cops or for people who live in Miami
for
area?
cops. For cops.
Okay, I was just wondering.
It's like a peek into the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they want training videos.
Well, and the video wound up being used not just locally, but nationally.
oh, sure. It's like
So
FBI
it's-
profiler type stuff where
Totally.
they're like, here's how they think.
Well, this is what Detective Lou Sessa said. Quote, she'll be able to give us some information on what to look for. It's always good to look at it from both sides of the fence. It will school our officers in patrol techniques and school us in teaching the general public on crime prevention. And they get to hang out with Judy, the lady burglar.
Yeah, she's a woman at that.
And could you believe it? So her fingerprints were found at 3 burglary
Yes.
crime scenes. And after her arrest, she not only agreed to help with the training video, but also agreed to help the police solve other cases. So the Delray Beach police drove her around town, and she'd point out the houses that she robbed.
All right.
And then she'd tell them exactly, how she did it, all the details. So she helped the cops clear 21 cases, all with the promise that she wouldn't be charged for those 21 cases, just so they could be like, okay, we figured it out, get it off the books.
So she's like, look, I'll help you close your books and you'll have a great closure rate, but it'll be like, you don't get a charge out of this
Yeah, they'll
because
be like,
you've already
she's already
caught
been
me.
charged.
But,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's not bad, I guess.
Well, this is how
You're into bookkeeping.
Sergeant Ross Licata, this is how he explained it. That was part of the deal in bringing her here. We didn't have anything to link her to those cases, but we did have her fingerprints in the 3 burglaries. So yeah, she's just closing them. And when asked about life as a fugitive, Judy said, it wasn't that hard. Most of the cops weren't that smart.
She always gets a diss.
God bless. I love that. So Tomasi, though, he had a better opinion of Judy.
She should have said something like, they're not too smart. I mean, for men.
Oh my God, yes. She missed her opportunity. So this is what Tomasi said, quote, she was very candid. The woman holds no animosity toward me. She said she had a job to do and I had a job to do. She said we got her fair and square.
You still got the woman bit in there.
A little bit.
He cannot let that go.
Yeah. On the day of her sentencing, the courtroom was abuzz.
Okay.
It was more than that. It was like festive. This was the end of an era for a local legend.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like their like fun Robin Hood, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
She pled guilty to 30 charges.
All right.
And she got 10 years in prison for her burglaries and 3 years for having a gun during that one burglary.
Oh, yeah.
Where she pulled it out on that lady. She confessed to over 500 burglaries.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she offered to return $250,000 worth of stolen items.
All right.
In July of 87, about 100 people showed up at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. They were there to reclaim property that they believed Judy stole. So Detective Sessa said, quote, she doesn't want any of these cases to resurface after she is sentenced. She could be recharged. She wants to do her time and get out and hopefully straighten up her life. She's never done any hard time before, so this hopefully will straighten her out. That's so
Interesting.
smart. Just get it all, wipe the slate.
Yeah. Like
Totally
while you
wipe the
have
slate.
some sense of immunity going on.
And while you know that everyone loves you, like they're treating you really well, it's not like, oh. So during the sentencing, Judy smiled.
It's too bad she didn't have somebody above her who she could have flipped on. She could have walked with no charges.
She had no one above her.
I know. That's
Big
like the
boss.
only thing is
Boss
that
lady.
she was on her own, which was a good move at the time for
Yeah.
who she was. But if she had that, I bet she could have walked away totally clean.
Probably, but then that person would come after her.
Yeah, but but she could manage.
Well, so Judy, during the sentencing, she's just cutting up with the circuit judge, Tom Johnson. I mean, they're just going back and forth. And he said, come on, Judy, the photographers want you to pose, because the cameras were all clicking away. And then he asked Judy if she had finished up the training video for the sheriff's office. And Judy said, quote, yes, but I want to do it over. My eye was swollen and I didn't take a good picture. And so then Johnson says, did they let you dress up? And Judy's like, yeah, they did.
He's like, oh, Judy, you could never take a bad picture.
I know, right? So then Johnson congratulates Tomasi for his tenacity. And then he asks him, quote, you going to let Judy do the film again with more makeup? It's ridiculous.
So Miami, though.
And then as Judy's led away to begin her sentence, she tells reporters that I feel fantastic.
Yes.
She feels great.
The Miami jumping out of all this courtroom scenes.
So Tomasi does the math. He calculated up what Judy stole, and he estimated it at $3 to $6 million worth of stuff.
Yeah, 500 robberies in that area, mostly hitting nice places, and she was upset about the guy who stole the cheap radio, so we know she's not coming out with like anything little.
Yeah, she's not small time. Tomasi said, quote, I waited a long time for this. A case like this might come along once in an officer's career.
And a woman at that.
But then look, what I talked about at the top of the episode, he had another lady burglar.
Yeah, no, totally.
Meanwhile, Judy's mom back in Arkansas said, quote, she changed when she left here. She sure did. I guess citified is what you'd call it.
Citified? She literally used citified?
She's citified.
Wow.
Judy is one of a kind. I guess that's something to be thankful for. Wow.
That's a diss, too.
She got citified.
I see where she gets the disses.
Judy got out of jail in 1990. She only did 3 years of the 13-year sentence.
It was a nonviolent crime, whatever.
Yeah. Where is she now? Well,
where is she now,
Elizabeth?
Where is
she now? You tell me.
Thank you for not telling me yet.
As of last reporting, she's a home security consultant.
So she's
a white hat burglar.
A white hat hacker, burglar. Okay.
I tried to find more follow-up information on her, and I tracked down her mother's obituary.
Okay.
Which put Judy still alive in 2015.
Okay.
But going by a different last name. So wherever she is, I wish her Godspeed. Godspeed, Bandit of Boca del Mar. What's your ridiculous takeaway?
Florida. Just the Florida of it all. I mean, I in all honesty, like I think I've said this before, I have family in Florida. I used to go there a lot when I was raised in Georgia. It's somewhere I feel very comfortable, and at no point do I look down on Florida. So I'm not one of those people who's making fun of or wagging my finger at Florida. I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with you, Florida, and I'm saying it straight to your face at the same time. This place is wild. So the Florida of it all, like where you have like these old people meeting up with all these like, recent immigrants happy to like make it to America and become really proud Americans. And then you have all these criminals who are going, this gives me a great place to hide out.
Yeah.
It's just amazing energy, just a chaos. And like they talk about, it's a melting pot. That's where the melting pot bubbles.
Yeah. And what I like about Florida is that lady executives are not an anomaly. You actually see them walking around in the wild all the time.
Just there's so many you lose count. You cannot count them, Elizabeth. It's just lady executive 4, 5, 6, realtor 17. I mean,
they're all over the place.
I don't have enough fingers for this.
And if you can believe it, I mean, they're driving cars.
Yes, I saw one using money.
It's crazy.
Money,
it's
Elizabeth.
A wonderful thing.
A lady professional. Like her husband wasn't even there.
I know. But you know what? It's one of those special things about us here.
I mean, Miami is a really progressive place with the ladies.
With the lady workers. That's us for today.
That's what I got for you, ridiculously.
It's wonderful. You can find us online at ridiculouscrime.com.
Yay!
It's amazing. Like, it's such a well-designed website. It's really, I mean, we have technology that we're using in that other people don't have.
We had ChatGPT-5 look at
ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's the one that's on drugs. It's ChatGPT, it looked at it. It's like, oh man, I'm into this stuff. This is I love this website.
Well, the government was like, how did you design this?
Yeah,
and we were like, you know what? Kick rocks. Like, we're not telling you.
It's like either Leonardo DiCaprio or Leonardo da Vinci did it, but somebody cool. One
of them.
Because this is amazing art.
Leo DiCaprio. There's T-shirts, I think, on there, mugs. I think you can buy a racehorse, you said?
Yeah, an 8x11 glossies of Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Signed, actually.
Lots of, They may be out. They may have run out.
We'll have to look into
Sold
that.
out. We'll see.
And the racehorse, he's doing well, but buy him soon.
Well, and there's like the motorcycle jacket from the George Michael Faith video for sale, but it might also be sold out. I don't know. I haven't been on there in a while.
And I think we have also a glimpse at the smirk that Prince gave at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert.
And the guitar that he threw up, and then we don't know where
no
it
one
went.
ever saw
threw
it.
It up in the air, and
it's
it never.
It's a twofer.
It's
you can
on
get
the
both.
website. It's so cool. We're at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram. Don't email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Leave a talkback on the iHeart app. And that's it. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Shadow Sheriff of Palm Beach County, Dave Kustin. Research is by Screwdriver Sharpener Marissa Brown and Wig Wrangler Andrea Song Charpentier. The theme song is by Thomas Barb Lee and Travis Starr Dutton, who went to Vista Del Mar. Host wardrobe is provided by Botany 500. Executive producers are Ben Boca del Nachos Belgrande Bolin and Noel Damador de Ratons Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.